It takes too many clicks to get this thing operational.
Yeah.
Bill, while we have a minute,
Yes.
do we have any sort of formal agreement with Socrates about use of their transfer station?
No, none. We used to. We had a deal where we paid them $20,000 a year, and that allowed our residents to purchase transfer stickers at the resident rate, and it gave us the ability to bring over so many bags of garbage. So that was, we were spending $20,000. We ended up buying a dump trailer, and now we haul everything down to the UCRRA, and we're spending, I want to say it's less than $5,000 a year.
So that the agreement was for the town of Woodstock, not for the residents?
Well, it was for both. It allowed the residents to buy the slightly less expensive transfer sticker, and it allowed the town to bring in so many bags of garbage.
Okay, so now the town takes the garbage directly to RRA?
Yeah, we go directly to RRA. So, you know, just to be totally clear, it takes us a little longer to do that. However, we're not doing as many trips because we're filling the dump trailer. So instead of going over on a daily basis or every other day, you know, now Chris Bonesteel goes down once a week or every 2 weeks with a trailer. That trip takes a little longer, but probably all in all, it's taking less time.
Now, but town residents still use Socrates.
They are, yeah, they are permitted to buy. I think the permit's a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Instead of 50, maybe it's 75, or I forget exactly. But yes, they can still use Socrates.
But
And they
then
can go to West Hurley has a dump they can go to.
So that's essentially the residents are just decided to use Socrates rather than any sort of formal arrangement between Socrates and Woodstock.
You know, it's worked out. This was 6-7 years ago now that we made this switch. It's been quite some time.
Okay.
Hi, Ken.
Hi,
How are you?
just fine.
Okay.
Who's speaking?
I got a phone. There we are. Hi, Ashley. Oh, am I do I need to unmute?
No,
we
No,
can
I'm
hear
unmuted.
you.
Oh,
We
okay.
can hear you.
I'm like, all of a sudden, I didn't hear anybody.
Maybe that
Yeah,
was a
we
message.
did.
That was, I know, that's probably a good sign, right? Is that John Ludwig I see there? Hi, John.
yeah, there's John.
Do we have any other board members on yet or no?
Lauren,
I'm
we're just
there.
waiting for Reggie now.
Everybody else is there?
Yes. And Maria Elena.
Hi, Maria.
No, we're waiting for Maria Elena
Oh, okay.
and Reggie.
Doesn't surprise me with Reggie.
And Nick Henderson and Bill are on, Jackie.
Okay. Thank you. No, Felicia?
Oh, actually, yeah, she's called in, so she's good.
Okay, okay.
Bill, I would like to take advantage of your offer to wish Jerry Washington a happy birthday at the meeting.
Woo,
Oh, and how old is Jerry going to be?
90.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Congratulations, Mr. Washington.
I know.
That's right.
Is Jerry
I
on?
know
Jerry
I
is a-
look like him when I'm 70, much less 90.
Maybe-
I'm gonna be worm poop long before that.
Worm poop.
What day is his
Luckily
birthday?
God.
Boy, Lauren, you can come up with some colorful phrases there.
I know.
I think Lauren's going to incite a riot. It's Max.
It's a pity Shirley hasn't been taking note of these, or has she?
I don't know.
They're written in a book somewhere.
Yeah, there's a book somewhere, is right.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Quips from Lauren Rose.
Oh,
Hello,
Jerry,
Maria
is,
Elena, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hi.
And we
Hi,
have
everybody.
Reggie. I see Reggie on now too.
Okay, everybody's
I'm
on.
good.
Yes. So what time is it? I have 7:01. So I am going to call to order the Woodstock Town Board meeting of November 17th to order. This is our business meeting. I have two announcements. One, the first announcement for public be heard. We will have up to 5 speakers at the end of the meeting for 2 minutes apiece. And if you'd like to speak, you can sign in the chat room, and Ashley will keep a list of that for the end of the meeting. The other, and actually this might turn into a longer conversation, which maybe we'll do afterwards. But I want to stress to folks that the COVID pandemic is really starting to come back with a vengeance. We have closed the town offices again to the general public, except for appointments. You can call, and we'll try and assist you over the phone or online, or if you need to, we can make arrangements for you to come in. But we do need to take some precautions, and I just strongly urge everybody to be smart. There's a lot of good news out there. There are 2 companies now that have very, very promising vaccines, but they are quite a ways off. And we all need to stay smart to make it to the finish line here. So with that, I see that Jane and Jamie are on from Solstice Community Solar. So I will turn the floor over to you. Tell us what you're all about.
Go ahead. Well, I'll say thank you, Bill, Supervisor McKenna, for the invitation tonight, and thank you to the town board and to everyone present for the opportunity today. Jamie Ansorge with Solstice Power Technologies, but I would love to pass it to Jane Leno, who will present to you our new municipal partnerships program. So, Jane.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamie, and thank you also everyone for having us here. It's nice to meet you all, and happy to be telling you a little bit more about our community solar program that we've been working on with local municipalities. I was going to share my screen to show a presentation. So
Ashley, if you could assist with that.
Oh, it's all good, I think. Let me know if you can see it. But she set it up for me before, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like you're good.
All right. So I'm going to put this up here. So really quickly, I wanted to just run through a little bit, tell you what community solar is, if you're not familiar with it already. How we run Solarize campaigns with local towns. And I'm actually going to start with just a little bit of history about Solstice and what we do to give you a little more background. Solstice was founded 5 years ago with a mission to expand access to renewable energy. We were actually founded as a nonprofit with the objective to increase access to renewable energy, also for low and moderate income households. And we spun out about 2 years ago. Now we have a for-profit and a nonprofit, so we're kind of a hybrid organization. And we work in New York, filling different solar farms, and we have a few in the Hudson Valley, and we've been working in the area for about 2 years now. So we're really excited about it. If you're not familiar with what community solar is, it's a way to subscribe to a local solar farm. It's sponsored by NYSERDA. It's meant to be a really easy way to access renewable energy, and importantly, renewable energy savings. The renewable energy industry and community solar has changed tremendously over the past few years to make it as easy as possible for people to sign up. So there are no enrollment costs, there are no cancellation fees. People are saving just 10% based off of their utilities rate. Obviously, in this case, Central Hudson. So whatever Central Hudson's rate is today, it's 10% off of that. And whatever it is in 5 years, whenever you're signed on, it's still 10% off of that. We've come a long way. Contracts used to be 20 years long and have cancellation fees. And we're just really happy to be able to advocate for renewable energy to be accessible to everyone. Households can enroll, but some municipal meters can enroll too. And so some towns have been able to enroll and save off of their own meters. We work with nonprofits too, who are able to benefit from this. And obviously it's meant for households and residents to benefit from. Then we run Solarize campaigns, mostly with municipalities. I saw that Woodstock was participating in the Clean Energy Communities program. I don't know exactly how advanced you are on that. I think that you completed something like 3 high impact action items, which is great. Now, one of them was a Solarize campaign. Don't really know the background behind that, but really exciting to see that Woodstock is interested in renewable energy. It's just a way to share this opportunity with your community. It is still a high impact item for NYSERDA's Clean Energy Communities program. So if you were to want to run another Solarize campaign, we'd make sure that we can connect with NYSERDA to get you the points for that. And then, you know, our program also helps local communities. So when people enroll through a municipality, through a town, we give them a $100 sign-on bonus as like one of those Visa cash cards, but we also have a $100 donation that goes out to the town itself. And the town can do, you know, whatever they'd like with those funds. For example, we just worked with the town of Gallatin up in Columbia County, and they decided to use that to solarize one of their parking lots, which was pretty cool. They got a bunch of their residents to sign up and fundraised for that way. But really, however you would like to run this, we're just here to assist and make sure that everything's as easy as possible for you. We've worked with a bunch of local nonprofits, great organizations, and I'm here if you have any questions. Happy to give some more information if you'd like, really answer any thoughts that you have.
So I guess the first about the savings. So that would be a 10% savings on the electric side of my Central Hudson bill.
Right, no, not gas.
Not the delivery, but the electric.
Right.
And is that 10% averaged over a year, or do you look at, as the energy cost goes up and down month to month, the savings goes up and down from month to month?
Yeah, great question. So the way you phrased it was correct, right? So the 10% doesn't apply off of Central Hudson basic service fee, which for households, I believe is fixed at $20. It applies to the electric charge portion of the bill. Right. And so you save, the way it works, if we run through a numbered example that might make things a little bit easier, is let's say you have $100 worth of electric charges on your electric bill. On average, your solar panels that we allocate you in the solar farm are going to cover about 90% of your electric usage. And we just need that 10% to make sure that we cover everyone in a good way, because we can't predict exactly how much your solar panels are going to produce and how much you're going to use. Mm-hmm. So when you get a $90 credit on your Central Hudson bill, that brings your Central Hudson bill down to $10. And then you get a fixed 10% credit off of that $90. So then you pay $81 for the solar credits and you pay $10 to Central Hudson, if that makes sense. So it averages out to 9% of your total electric costs over the course of the year, but it's a fixed 10% off of Central Hudson's rate.
Okay.
So are we paying totally Central Hudson? So all this money moving around, we still only pay Central Hudson, and then you get your reimbursement from Central Hudson.
No, not exactly. So there's a Central Hudson bill and there's a Solstice bill. So it's two separate bills. And thankfully, I believe that sometime next year, most community solar companies are going to be able to move to consolidated billing. We just don't know exactly when that is yet.
Jane, could I just, are you done with the presentation part? Can we pull that down? So Ashley, if you could just go back to the full screen so that I can just see everybody if anybody's got questions. So anybody else on the board?
Yeah.
Is that Richard?
Where'd I go? I lost myself.
Not the first
we can
time.
hear you. We can hear you, Richard.
Come towards the light.
I don't know where my camera went.
No.
Anyway, I'll fix that in a minute. So we get two bills. Is that every 2 months? That's one question. How often do you bill? The other question is, I think I heard you say no cancellation fees, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and how often do you bill?
Every month. So you get your Central Hudson bill usually in the middle of a month, right? So for example, let's say you get a Central Hudson bill in mid-January. For the credits that you see on your Central Hudson bill in mid-January, you'll get a bill for those credits on February 1st. Okay. So a few weeks later.
Got that, Richard?
I got it.
Okay. Anybody else on the board have any questions? Well, I have another question. So what are you looking for from the town?
Well, if the town is interested, there's a few things we can do. If the town is interested in just saving on its own meters and supporting renewable energy, of course, that's completely doable. Some of your meters might be eligible, some not. It really depends on their on what class they're in. And then if the town is interested in running a Solarize campaign, whether that's in the NYSERDA framework or not, that's completely up to you. But if Woodstock is interested in partaking in this Clean Energy Communities program or just supporting renewable energy through a Solarize campaign, we're here to help.
And
so what does that look like? So, suppose we decide, yes, we want to support this, we want to do it, this is a great idea. What does it look like? What are we doing?
A Solarize campaign is essentially kind of like an education campaign with your residents, helping them access, information necessary for them to enroll. So we would support that. We could provide however you would think is best to do it. We can run events. We can do like direct mail campaigns. We can, post things in different places. We can do emails and things like that. I know in Gallatin, what was really successful was running a couple community events and then doing some direct mail. So anything like that you think would fit Woodstock would be great.
Are we paying for the direct mail, or is that you are? So it doesn't.
We completely support the campaign. We just, take your guidance on what you would like us to do and we run with it.
So no, go ahead, Richard.
Is there a certain percentage or number of the community you would need signed up before we go ahead?
No.
No? I mean, one person can sign up?
Yeah, anyone can sign up. However many people you think are interested in going, we'll work with you.
And is there a time frame, or is this, we just can keep advertising this and letting people know, and people can continue to sign up as they come in dribs and drabs?
That's a great question. We'll work with your timeframes. I know that, you're more or less busy at the town level. It's the end of the year. There's a lot going on. It's going to take a few weeks for us to get everything together. We should have room in our solar farms for this next 6 months to a year. So whenever our solar farms are full, there's not much we can do at that point, but we do have a lot of capacity. And so I think that, over the next 6 months to a year should be fine.
And where are the farms?
So we just filled one in Kingston off Route 209, and the one that we're filling now is in Westerlo.
Okay. And I assume more are coming on all the time.
Yes, yes. There's, I'm sure you see them when you're driving around. There's a lot of solar farms being built.
Are you just dealing with solar farms in New York State, or do you go outside the state?
Right now, we're just in New York.
Okay. Reggie, did you have a question?
You actually asked it. I was going to ask where the farms were.
Yeah, I have a question.
Laura?
So my question is, as a town, we're already getting some discount on our electric because we're tied into hydro. And so given that we're tied into hydro, if we wanted to, I'm not sure how we would coordinate this solar power proposal with the hydro we're already doing.
I don't know. Well, first off, not all our meters are on the hydro, and I don't know that this is necessarily a fit for us. I think this is a better fit for our residents.
Right.
And I, in my head, that's where if we do move forward with this, that's the way I would see us, the direction I would see us going.
Although it could be a fit for the Central Hudson bills that we get that are not powered by the hydro, because we sign a lot of, when we sign vouchers, which we did today, of course, we sign a lot of Central Hudson bills for the different sites that the town owns. So we could talk offline about whether or not we think there's some opportunity.
I am definitely open to looking at. I'm assuming you probably don't do on-demand meters.
No, we don't do demand meters.
And those are a big chunk of our meters.
Yeah.
When you say, what is an on-demand meter?
Ken, actually, you might be it's more of a commercial meter, and we pay a premium.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. So some commercial meters are able to enroll and some not. Some of the larger meters in Central Hudson are often demand meters. And so some of your meters would likely be able to enroll, but I'd assume that the large amount of your expenses would not be able to enroll.
Well, it sounds like it's worth.
We could check though. We could check.
That's what I was going to say. It may be worth looking into, so we can maybe go offline and say, of all the Central Hudson accounts we have, which is a pretty big handful, which ones which ones we get in a hydro benefit for, which are the remaining, and see if any of the remaining might be a candidate, so that we could make a decision based on that research.
Of course, happy to help look into that. Depending on how the hydro works on your bill, there's a chance it might be compatible. There's a chance it might not, but
it's 10%. It's the same.
Oh, so it's community hydro. Okay, yeah. So then it's not compatible.
Yeah. So if any account for which we're already getting the hydro benefit, I think we would not be interested in those, but we could look at the others,
right,
and see if they're a match or not.
So we can take a look at that, but at this point, I would think we would be looking more at the residential end of it and supporting that endeavor. So anybody else on the town board with a question at the moment?
This maybe you said this. What other communities in Ulster County are participating?
None so far in Ulster County. We've been working further up north with Gallatin, and we just started working with some of the clean energy communities coordinators, both in the Capital District and in the Hudson Valley. And so we're working with a few separate towns, but none have run this campaign yet in Ulster.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll just add on that.
First town in the county.
What's that, Reggie?
I said, so if we were on board with this, we could be the first one in Ulster County.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I know that we have a number of members from the Woodstock Environmental Commission. Do you folks have any questions you'd like to ask about this?
I do, Bill, if I may.
You may.
So Jane, a couple of things. Do you actually build solar arrays, or do you contract with other existing solar array builders, and then basically as a wholesaler that you buy their electricity and sell it to residential users?
Neither, if that makes sense. So we don't own the solar farms. Different developers own the solar farms, and we fill the solar farms. We fill the solar farms. So
how do you fill a solar farm?
You sell
by finding people to enroll into the solar farm.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
They fill the customer base.
Exactly.
Well, the town has property that would be ideal for solar arrays. Do you have any interest in renting those properties from the town and building arrays, or finding other developers who would like to rent those properties from the town and build solar arrays?
Yeah, well, Solstice doesn't build solar arrays, but if you do have connections, we're happy to send those off to to the developers that we know to see if they're interested.
What would a connection look like? What do you mean?
I'm honestly not sure. I would probably send this off to our team that works with the developers, and connect you to them, introduce you to them, see if they're interested in those lots.
Okay, I mean, I'm on the environmental commission, and I happen to know Bill and everyone else on the town board. So if those qualify as connections, sure, I have connections.
Never saw this man in my life.
We don't have any decision-making power ourselves. Where we do have, some negotiating powers where we usually try to get better contract for our customers and have it as user-friendly as possible, but we don't really have a say as to where the solar farms are being built.
So you have no idea if the solar panels being put up are made in this country or made somewhere overseas?
I think that would change from one solar farm to another. I know that changes from one solar farm to another, and I can look up those details for you. We have them.
Well, I don't want to speak for the town board because I'm not on the town board, but that Bill and the rest of the members of the board might well be interested in renting property, and certainly if you want to.
That's something we can explore moving forward, but I think at this point I'm going to bring it back to the main topic at hand, which is whether we want to pursue a relationship with regard to helping find clients for this. So,
I would like to
And just
hear,
to
I don't know if
summarize-
I'm sorry,
go ahead, Richard.
if we forward this to WEC or if, I think I saw Julia on here.
Sure, absolutely.
and
We'd be very
Ken's on
happy.
here.
Yeah.
They could speak to it, but not being solar expert, I'd like to hear from them at some point. Maybe not tonight, but I'm just saying.
So Jane and Jamie, I'm currently chair of the WEC. I'm Julia Blelock. So I'd be very happy to talk with you further and see what the first steps might be, how we could work together, if that makes sense.
Sure, that sounds great.
That'd be
Okay.
wonderful.
This was going to be on our agenda tomorrow night at our meeting anyway. Maybe you should join our meeting tomorrow. Anyway.
Are you, Jane, are you available for tomorrow night?
Yeah, sure. Send me, is it the same time, 7 p.m.? I think
It is.
It is. It's a different Zoom. Somebody will have to send you the Zoom.
Ashley will send you the link.
I'll add you to the list and send it out tomorrow.
Sounds great.
One personal question, Jane. I have a solar array on my property, which does not provide me with all my electricity. Am I eligible for community solar, or does the fact that I have my own array disqualify me?
That's a great question. If the short answer is that disqualifies you. You can't have solar credits from two separate sources on your electric bill. That's unfortunately how it works in New York. But if they're, the old school solar panels that just provide like that heat your hot water and stuff like that, and you don't have credits on your bill, then you can enroll.
Thank you.
Good to know. So Bill, I fully agree with taking this to WEC. I will say my personal opinion so far is I would be very positive to the town, given that the town action is an education action. I certainly would feel very positively. I do want to say what the WEC says, because I love the WEC and I love the research they do, and they always look at both sides of an issue and come back with a well thought out response. So I'll certainly want to hear that. But my thought, based on what I've heard tonight, is I see a lot of value to us. And as Reggie points out, we could be the first town in Ulster County to do this. And given that the main point is education, we're not forcing anybody to do anything, but we're educating. It sounds very positive to me. And I would love to hear what the WEC says after they've done their research. But I do feel positively at this point.
I agree. I mean, I've done, Jamie called me a couple of weeks ago and I've looked into this, and honestly, the only thing that scares me is that I can't see anything wrong with it. It's a
That's what we
no-brainer.
hear.
It's not going to cost us
That's the biggest
anything.
problem we've had, is that it's almost too good to be true, but it is absolutely true. It's a win-win.
I mean, I
for
keep
communities and-
looking and looking, and it's not going to cost the town anything. It will actually help raise some funds for some green initiatives that we might want to do. It's going to bring solar energy to town folks. It's going to help them save on their energy bills. So I'm inclined, I think it should be sooner rather than later to move forward with this. Julia, maybe if you guys meet and, take a look at it tomorrow and do a little investigation as soon as you can get back to us.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll fast
seems
track
like,
it. Sure.
A positive thing. Anybody else on the board have any thoughts, comments, or?
Bill, if I could just ask Jane something. Jane, is your presentation that you gave, although it was brief, is it something that you can email me? I'm the town clerk, so I take the minutes. I would love to put that in the minute book.
Yeah, of course. I'll send it over as a PDF.
Okay, if you have Bill's email address?
Yep.
Send it to him and then he'll forward it to me and it'll become part of the permanent minutes. That would be great.
Sounds great. I will.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Will residents also have access to that as well? If that's something that's attractive to Woodstock residents, will they have access to the presentation?
Yes, we can put that on Facebook or the town website.
Okay.
I think we can. Ashley?
Oh, yeah, Ashley.
Yeah, we should be able to.
Just a jack of all trades.
I don't want to speak out of turn.
We can also put it on the WEC Facebook page.
That would be good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that we might want to wait a day or two, though, to be putting this out.
Right. So you can earn some commissions on those.
Exactly. I would, and let me ask, how long, I mean, if the WEC came back on Thursday morning and said, this is a no-brainer, we urge you to do it, how long does it take for Woodstock to set up and get rolling?
I mean, it can be a matter of a couple weeks. We have like a template town resolution from other towns, if that helps. And then it's just going to be a matter of us, tailoring our materials to Woodstock, and making them, running them by you, seeing what you think, and then sending them out. As for the presentation, you're more than welcome to share it, but I'm also happy to make something that's tailored towards residents. So I can send this to you to have in your minutes, but I can also later on send something to share with your residents once you've made a decision.
I actually think that would be a smarter idea.
Well, let me just be clear though, Bill. If we go ahead with this and it kicks in, your company will do all the contact back and forth, explaining everything to our residents. I mean, how much does the town have to get involved in terms of rolling this out?
You're going to be our salesman.
Right. That's basically what he's volunteering for now.
You just told me your father was a car salesman. I didn't know that about you, so it's in your genes.
Listen, my wife's going to get an extra bill a month. I don't care. I don't do that. I don't do the bills. So,
well, I mean, you can be involved as much as you want to be involved.
No, I think I'm going the other way.
But I can pick up the phone. I can explain to people what they're going to be signing up for.
Bill McKenna's a busy man, and I don't want him, having to mail out stuff all over the place. That's what I'm getting at.
We'll do the heavy lifting. From experience, it's helpful to have like good coordination, just so we know what you would like, and so that we're being transparent throughout the process, and that you're happy with what we're doing. And but the point of this is to have us do the heavy lifting and manage the campaigns and all of those things. So.
And if somebody doesn't like their bill, they go to you?
Yes.
We're not dealing.
I'd send them to McKenna, but that's okay.
Ken, are you going to tune into the WEC meeting tomorrow, Ken?
Got on mute, Ken.
You're on mute, Ken.
You're muted, Ken.
Hi,
You're
Jen.
still,
We can read your lips, maybe.
Okay, go ahead, Ken, you're unmuted.
I'll be at the WEC meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
okay, because I would, after the meeting, I'd like to hear what the human dark cloud has to say about this, because if anybody could find anything wrong with it, it'd be Ken, and I value that, so.
Well, you know, you need to have a contract to evaluate. When you get down to the numbers, that's where you find the issues. I mean, we're signed up now, and many of us, you know, I'm signed up for the Natural Power Hydro Group, which is a community distributed situation, same as this solar. And we only have 2 accounts which actually would qualify for the solar, and that's the and they're already signed up for the hydro, and that would be the youth center and the supervisor's cottage. Everything else is a demand account, or the numbers are so low they don't make any sense. I mean, if you're using 600 kilowatts a year, it doesn't make any sense to sign up for community solar.
Okay.
So, but you know, for the residents, this is something really to consider.
So Jane, I would ask you then, if you, along with the presentation, if you could send me a draft or a couple of different drafts of the resolutions that other towns have put forward.
Absolutely.
And I'll start to take a look at that, and we'll continue the conversation.
Sounds great. I'll send that as soon as I hop off here.
Yeah, and if we get a copy of the contract, then we can do an analysis of
I can send over the contract.
Okay,
Huh?
perfect. She'll send over a contract, Ken.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Okay.
So Julia, maybe on Thursday, you could give me a call at the office, and we could just, you could give me an update of
I will.
of how, you know, what you guys are thinking and where we're headed, and we'll see if we can't move this along.
Sounds great.
Excellent. And to David's point about renting out land, you know, as we move forward, if you do have contacts within your company that, you know, we might be able to talk to, that would be wonderful too. So, and I guess the last thing is I can pull together all our Central Hudson accounts at some point and send them over to you, and you can analyze them. And I think Ken is correct there, so I don't think it's going to benefit the town directly, but you know, there's no harm in taking a look.
Yeah, we can take a look. That's not a problem.
Okay. Any questions before I end this topic? Going once, twice? Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for your time tonight. We
I
really
will talk
appreciate
to you
it.
guys in a day or two then.
Thank you so
Jamie and
much.
Jane.
Well, have a
Thank
great
you for
night.
your time.
Thank
Good
you, guys.
presentation.
Thank you for having us. Have a great evening.
You
You
too.
too.
Okay. So last week we didn't postpone, but we moved our 7 o'clock meeting to the middle of the day so that we could meet with town employees, specifically in the planning department and the building department, to discuss and try to get a sense of how our short-term rental law was working. We don't need to specifically talk about it this evening. I just wanted to, you know, kind of put it on record and let the public know that we did talk about that. We're going to continue to have conversations with the general public as well as to how they feel that law is working, and whether there are shortcomings or whatnot. We are nearing our cap. I know that for the non-owner occupied, we're actually a little over the cap, so we're not going to be accepting any more of those. And in fact, I think the building department sent a couple of applications back. Does the board have anything they want to add about that tonight?
No, only thing is follow-up is thinking about the SUPs, special use permits. I'm also in the process, I didn't have time over the weekend, but working on a draft of a note to the chief of the police department about violations. And
Okay.
I'm looking at noise, fireworks, and maybe garbage.
And dogs too.
And
Dogs off
dogs.
leash.
Yeah. Trespassing, that type, you know,
Yeah,
wandering.
I would say across the board, any issues, even criminal issues with short-term rentals, we should be taking a look at.
All right.
So with regard to the SUPs, and we talked last week about the potential of waiving the requirements for a public hearing. Was it about 117 that we talked about, that they have public hearings that they need to schedule?
Probably similar to that. I'd have to check my notes, but it was something like
It
that.
was somewhere over 100.
It was like 21 or something like that.
121?
I think so.
So, at this point, what I had proposed is that, we could make an offer to the planning board. I do not want to step on their toes. But if this is something that might help them and relieve a little pressure, especially in these COVID times, that I'd be happy to try and help them out there. I believe they're going to talk about that Thursday night. And so we'll, maybe Friday or early next week, we'll have some feedback from them. I wouldn't want to move forward with that unless they were on board.
No, of course not. That's up to them, really. But
Although
I'm amenable to some type of arrangement that gets them out of the, they got a big backlog there.
Well, and the note from the chairman basically said, look, we're not able to do anything. It's all pretty cut and dry, and it's really just taking up our time. So, I'm following his cue. The other thing, I'll just remind folks, the board all knows it, but originally when we talked about doing this, we were not going to have them as an SUP that required planning board oversight. Anyway, that's where we are with that.
I would put the word, I would just, finally, you mentioned COVID earlier, and I know our governor won't do anything, but it makes me nervous when we have out-of-state people here, and we don't know if they've quarantined or had tests or anything like that. So if I'm an owner, I'm going to be very careful.
Well, and I'm inclined to try again with an emergency declaration that requires a minimum of a 2-week stay. I would feel much more comfortable with that. Folks coming and going for a couple of days here or there, it's a little scary. We had not had a single new case since the beginning of August. We got 3 in the last week. So our numbers are ticking up. I have heard ridiculous things. I heard a rumor about a birthday party somewhere in town where 55 people attended. This stuff just, it's destructive. It's not good. So
yeah, what was it for the town or for the county?
Town.
The town has 3.
So in town, we got 3 cases in town.
In the last week, we have 3. The county numbers are going through the roof.
Wow.
I think
also along those lines, Bill, in terms of short-term rentals, and the governor's numbers involving gathering under one roof, party houses and all that type of stuff. More than 10, I'm not sure where the governor is these days on numbers, but that's also something we got to watch.
I don't know how you can enforce it. And again, it's not a
well,
law.
It's obvious if somebody.
But I agree.
Having 25 people at a party at a short-term rental, we got a problem. Yeah.
Well, and that's a problem that I think we can probably deal with. You having 25 people at your house, that's your private residence. I think that's a little bit more difficult. But the short-term rentals, certainly.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah. So, any other input from the board on COVID-19? No? Okay, I'm going to read a few resolutions. Be it resolved to accept minutes for meetings held on October 27th and November 5th.
Second.
And just to note, it also said the October 21st. Actually, it's the 20th. I took that off, Lauren. I don't know if you had a copy, but Jackie needs a copy of the resolution you read about the testing, just to put in the minutes.
I thought we sent her one, but I will make sure she gets one.
If you could just double check, and then at our next meeting, we can vote on that. All in favor for the other 2?
Aye. And Jackie, I did mark up 1 or 2. I have, if I marked up something, I put a notation on the first page that I marked it up. So I did put 1 or 2 on.
Thank you.
Be it resolved to accept the town clerk's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Be it resolved to authorize payment of audited vouchers in the amount of $663,880.18.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved to authorize transfers per transfer sheet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now the last resolution we have on the Dan Scammer energy plant. I am going to ask that the town clerk put into the minutes the resolution as it is printed out with all the whereases. And I will ask Councilwoman Ricky to read the now therefore be it resolved, the meat of the resolution.
Okay. Is it okay if I give a quick summary of what the whereases say?
Sure.
Okay. So the whereases are, this is the Dan Scammer resolution. Dan Scammer is the plant around New Paltz, which wants to take an old antiquated plant that only is used for peak use, and they want to refurbish it and have it used a lot. It turns out that it will be a greater polluter because it'll be more efficient. However, used as much as it's going to be used is a greater polluter. There are health impacts. The WEC did a fabulous job of looking into this issue, looking into both sides to draft this resolution that the town clerk is putting in the minutes. And I think did a wonderful, thorough job of investigating to take a position, which is what what the whereases are. Woodstock, as we know, is a leader in environmental solutions, and Woodstockers want green solutions. We don't want an investment in something that will be a polluter for decades to come. We do, as Woodstockers, well, we'll find out when the board votes on this resolution, but I believe as Woodstockers, as is the WEC, that we do want green solutions. With that, I will go to the therefore be it resolved. Therefore be it resolved that the town board of Woodstock opposes the construction of a new Dan Scammer power plant on the Hudson River, and be it further resolved that the town board of Woodstock urges Governor Cuomo and the siting board convened under Article 10 of the state public service law to consider the concerns and positions stated herein when considering Dan Scammer's proposal to build and operate a new facility. And be it further resolved that the town board of Woodstock urges Governor Cuomo and New York State to focus additional economic development resources into the Hudson Valley to provide prevailing wage jobs for the construction and operation of clean power generation, brownfield cleanup, or other appropriate economic development projects in the Hudson Valley. And be it further resolved that the town clerk of Woodstock is directed to submit this statement to the siting board and to send a copy of this resolution to Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And I would like to thank the WEC. I appreciate, I thank Bill for letting me read that. I did bring this to the town board a while back. I brought it to the WEC. I was so impressed. I'm so happy and impressed with our WEC because they were very thorough. They didn't just shoot from the hip. They didn't just say, oh yeah, of course it's this way. They listened to both sides and considered everything. And I think that was a very well thought out decision, very well thought out resolution. And I really appreciate the WEC and the work the WEC did on this.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, WEC. So, Ashley, do we have any folks who'd like to speak? Public be heard?
Iris. I'm gonna.
Oh, there you are, Iris.
I'll be very, very brief.
Okay.
I just want to say that I was very disappointed that our elected officials took a pay raise. It's just not the time to do it. People are struggling, sets a bad example. I don't think any of you would have been out on the streets or couldn't pay your bills if you didn't have that raise. And I just feel it just wasn't right. Not at this time. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Iris. Anyone else? That it?
I'd like to ask Iris a question. Did you feel that it was bad for us to give the town employees the raise?
I don't really know. I didn't give it a lot more thought. I thought you all as, you know, the elected officials and running the town and setting examples. I mean, I don't know the individual cases with the town employees, if they were laid off in any way. I don't really know that. So, I mean, if they still had their regular jobs, then I don't know why they would need to get a raise since they were just, still working, right?
Have you tried to eat? Have you tried to eat in this town, Iris?
What? What'd you say?
Have you tried to buy a meal in this town?
I don't. I cook a lot at home, and so
Yep.
I don't really go out. I know what this town has become, with the restaurants and who they cater to.
Our employees are 98% tremendous. And now you can come after me because I don't do anything. What the hell do I need a raise for? But the town, yeah.
Well, what I started to say was about the elected officials, and then Laura asked me about the others, which I didn't really have a firm opinion on. So I was targeting you guys. Yes.
Okay.
Iris, if I could just say something, a lot of the elected officials make much less than the town employees, so it's
to that.
we need to be fair all over, but it is difficult for anybody in this temperature of COVID to deal with the cost of food and anything else. We're all going through the same thing. I think the town did a good job of with its budget. This town board really looked at it, and we're not raising anything. So, and we all cut back. So I think we've worked hard, and a 2% raise is not a big deal. I'm sorry.
We have our own opinions.
That's true.
Was that raise not contractual?
No, not mine. Not yours, not probably 60%.
Not the elected officials.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't have a contract.
You want me to give mine back, Iris?
That's up. Hey, that's your decision, not mine.
Yeah. What I would like to add is, and I know, and I thank Bill at our last meeting, but I'll thank him again. When we did the town budget this year, Bill did take the lead in asking the different department heads to do what they could to cut the budget where we could, so we could watch the cost for everybody. And I will say, and Iris knows, because we have a history, we both worked for the same day job. I still work there, but as somebody who's been in management for a lot of years, I always want to do all that I can for the people, and I'm glad that we did what we could for the people. I'm glad we cut budgets, but not budgets where the salary is concerned, because our town employees knock themselves out. So I would always do all I can for the people.
Thank you, Laura.
I hate to toot my own horn, and I've really.
Don't.
What are you laughing at?
Hold on, I got the floor.
You have the walls.
I've endured a lot and listened to a lot. I'm not talking about tonight, but just over the years about comments about this, that, and the other thing. And I used to have another business. But since this pandemic has started, I've been in this office usually from 7 o'clock until 5 o'clock. I'm almost always the first employee here, and I'm typically the last one to leave. I'm also in on Saturdays and Sundays for a couple hours. I have not had a single vacation. My contracting business I've put aside because the town needed me to get through this pandemic. And I've really, occasionally I will go and help my brother from time to time on weekends doing a couple of little things. But I feel like I've sacrificed a lot for this community. And I love this community, and I'm not complaining. But I don't think a raise at this point was out of line for any of the board. So, and you're entitled to your opinion too, Iris. I respect that. So with that, anybody have anything else to add?
About this?
Oh,
anything.
Oh.
You want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, if we're done with that, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's, if the board wanted to not give the elected officials raises, that's fine with me. I don't need it, but then you can take it back. I don't care. That's not why we do it.
No, that's for
That's-
sure.
That's for sure. I wanted to, well, Laura was thanking, I wanted to thank the Housing Committee and the work they've been doing in trying to move us towards some more affordable housing down the road. It takes time, but they're working hard, and I appreciate the town's efforts this week. I went to Bill, and we have some people attending a Pattern for Progress conference, and they are making progress, and hopefully you're going to hear a lot more from them come the holidays and into the new year about plans for housing in this town.
So Richard,
Yes, sir.
you and I had a, what was it, on Friday? We had a Zoom meeting with them.
Yeah, we have another one. We have another one this Friday.
Yes. Talk a little bit about what we talked about, because I know we've got a long way to go, but I think
the housing committee, I don't want to speak for them, get ahead of them, but because they're working in different roads, from a housing trust to what we've been focused on this week in our meeting last week is looking at town properties for the construction and issuing RFPs for the construction of some affordable housing. Now, we're not talking big RUPCO projects here. We're talking a house here, maybe two houses there, or something like that, that a developer would work on and then make available using town property. So that's one of the things we're working on. That's what the meeting was last week, and that's what we're going to talk about again this week. But again, it's very intricate, the work they're doing. It takes time. It takes time to start from scratch, but they're doing excellent work, and these are very serious professional people.
Just to elaborate a little bit more, say the town had a 3-acre parcel where you could build a single family home. What we might look to do is create a situation where a developer could go in and build a duplex. And, one of the things we talked about is that, we would strive to make whatever was constructed fit into the community. So this duplex might be built looking like a single family home, but that could actually service two folks. So these are the type of ideas that we're coming up with.
Right.
And
I don't want people to get crazy thinking we're talking a big RUPCO project here, like we went through a few years back. But we talk about short-term rentals. We talk about the lack of apartments that are available these days, or the cost of rent in this town. And it behooves us. It's part of our job as the town board to make sure to do all we can. Let's put it that way. To do all we can to see if we can't do something that provides affordable living spaces for people who want to live here.
Okay.
Those are the people that work in our shops. Those are the people, our town employees. Those are the people that volunteer for the fire department or volunteer to coach our little league or soccer teams. Those are the community. And the more we keep them here, the stronger our community becomes.
And a more diverse community we can
Exactly
keep, we're going to be richer for it.
Exactly.
So,
I would like to say something to John Ludwig. Can you hear me, John? Give me a call tomorrow if you would. I need to talk to you about something.
I think John is, oh no, there he is. Yeah,
There he is.
Okay.
He's there with his hair down tonight.
Hi.
So many looks, John. So many looks.
I have my hair down too, so.
Bill, really quickly before we go.
Take your time, Reggie.
It'll be brief, trust me. We have a survey out in town for law enforcement. Basically, it's a number of questions that you can fill out to just share your experience with law enforcement here in Woodstock. I did want to just mention that I've seen some either quotes or comments or things on Facebook. And for example, someone said, well, I'm a middle-aged white woman who's privileged, so I don't have anything, so this survey isn't for me. And I'll say you're incorrect. No matter what your race is, whether you're privileged or not, you can have feedback about ideas to make things better. If you've had a positive experience, it's okay to share that too. So this survey is for everyone to engage in. And I think some folks have not really scrolled down through the entire thing. There are spaces where, even if you haven't had an interaction with law enforcement here, that if you have ideas about what you'd like to see in Woodstock, ways you think we could be better, you can share that. And there is room in the survey to do that. So please, know that it is open for everyone. And just because you have not necessarily had an encounter, or maybe it wasn't a negative one, you can still give feedback.
Reggie,
It's
Reggie,
important to know what we're doing right is what we're doing wrong.
Yes, agree.
Reggie, I've had some people ask me, where do they get the survey? Is there a hard copy of the survey if you're not computer crazy?
Yes, there is. We can get hard copies out if folks want to get in touch with Ashley. And also, I'm happy to drop them off at someone's home, drop it in a mailbox.
Dispatch should also have copies.
Dispatch has hard copies. Town clerk's office also has them. So you won't be able to come in, but they can bring one out to you.
But how do you get it online if you want to get it online?
There's a link.
There's a link on the town's website, on our Facebook page. Sorry.
Oh, town's Facebook.
It's on both.
On both. Sorry.
Oh, both. Okay, excellent.
Say, Reggie, be careful. Don't put it in anybody's mailbox. I believe it's a federal offense.
Well, I thought about that just to say.
Hasn't gone through the post office.
Reggie gets arrested.
So then I have to use that small raise that we got to help bail me out, Iris. I really need it now.
And then you'll have an experience to write about.
I was going to say, he needs an experience with the police department. Come on.
Yeah.
You put them illegally in mailboxes. My wife is going to be your worst nightmare.
Oh boy.
One last thing, Bill.
Just let me finish up on this. I just want to thank Reggie for really taking charge of this committee. I know it's been interesting. I look around and I talk to other supervisors, and I think the town of Woodstock is in really great shape with their committee. I know some others are having more issues. Some are doing okay, but I'm really happy with where we're at with this. You're making good progress. So thank you for that, Reggie.
Thank you, Bill.
Richard?
Oh, no, since we're wrapping up, I think this is our last meeting before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Stay safe.
Thankful.
Maybe Mr. Rose can tell us talk about the great hunt for a Christmas tree for the village green too.
Well, the squirrel says, "Don't be squirrely, wear a mask."
Yay.
And Maria Elena, I know that you and I spoke with the winter coming and the pandemic kind of taking charge again. I believe you're going to be starting up the phone banks again for our seniors.
Right. I'm going to get some volunteers. Some new folks are also interested. So we're going to start reaching out again, especially this time of year. But, in preparation for, trying to keep people home and safe, but also to do check-ins with senior residents as well. Just making sure everybody, has what they need at home. So.
And anybody can help with this. I mean, if there are seniors out there that feel like they want to help make some calls, this is just about staying connected and keeping everybody connected. So anyone who's interested.
That's another thing that Maria Elaine is working on, but the housing committee is also working on the possibilities of home sharing. So that's another thing that's under that umbrella.
Yeah, I'm going to work with them on that as well, because I started work last year on that. So we're not going to collaborate on that. So, yeah.
I just did a video actually a couple weeks ago with Susan Goldman about home sharing.
All right. Anything else?
But back to the Christmas tree for a minute.
Yes.
We have a beautiful, about a same size as last year, probably a 30-foot spruce that's been donated by Jim Montserrat.
Thank you, Jim.
And, I have a commitment from Bob Bloomer and LA Tree to move it down here some point before Thanksgiving, but they're pretty busy and we need them more than they need us. So it's hard to put pressure on them.
Thank you, Bob.
That's
a
we
big
should
tree.
get it. It should be happening.
Okay.
It's a big tree. Certain people should be happy.
Like your brother-in-law?
No.
I don't know. He's never happy.
I volunteer to be head of the complaint committee.
I already told him you were.
That works for me.
Okay, and once again, I wish George a very happy birthday, 90th birthday. Ken, do you know what day it is on his birthday?
Well, it's the 21st.
21st, okay. So
I guess Lauren and Richard will have to start giving him strokes.
No, he gives me one every time we play. I owe him money.
Well, I'll take it, now I guess I'll take it back.
The man shoots his age for 18 holes.
That's pretty good.
No, it's remarkable. It really is remarkable.
Yeah,
Happy birthday,
yeah.
Jerry.
Happy birthday, Jerry. I've known him for 45 years and he's a royal pain in the rump. He will tell you the truth till you
I
beg him to
second
stop. But,
Happy
part of
birthday, Jerry.
but he's been a good part of this community for a lot of years, and you have to respect him.
Yeah, and happy birthday, Jerry. He helps out a lot of places, a lot of times.
Jerry
Yes, he
Washington,
has.
He sure does. Yes.
happy birthday, Jerry.
With that,
Let me say one last thing.
Oh, my
One last
goodness.
thing for Jerry Washington, which I swore I would never say again, but I will say it for his 90th birthday. Nice shot, Jerry.
with that, I will call for adjournment.
I'll second
Second.
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Thank you.
everybody. Good
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Everybody
Thanksgiving.
be safe.
We have a lot to be thankful for. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Jackie.
See.
There he is. Okay, I think everyone's gone.
I was
I can hear you guys.